And then now I'm going to introduce Nick Disney. Nick is my favorite wholesaler for sure. He is very good at what he does. He's been doing this a very long time. Um, I like Nick because he just doesn't, he doesn't bullshit. He just says it like it is, and he keeps it really simple. A lot of investors try to get fancy, and I don't know, Nick just makes it easy to understand, and I think that makes me feel more comfortable and feel like I understand what's going on better. So I'm a real big fan of Nick. I'm real excited that he's here to talk with us today. And I'm going to pass it over to you. Here you are.
Thanks. Can you guys hear me okay? That's
Yes.
fine? All right. So I've been doing it for a little while and almost all of it in San Antonio. And we had kicked around the idea of talking about locating off-market properties. I talk about it a lot. I'm a huge believer in it just because it's the best way to get the best deal. So I've got a couple of slides of things that I think, and everybody's kind of in a different spot. But I keep them really basic, and then we can just expand into whatever you want. And you can ask me any question that you want. And if I know, then I will tell you. And there's not, but I definitely have my opinions. But most of those are because I tried some different things and they didn't work out for me, and then it's your money. So you kind of get to do what you want. But we'll kick it off, and then anything that you want to ask, it's an open book. So today might just be the day, let it rip. Ooh, there we go. Can you guys see that? Oh, I can see you guys
Yes.
on the side here.
Yes.
Okay. I do a little bit of all of these in the single family part, but mostly rentals and owner finance, which just means that I would have bought the property and sold it back and accepted payments instead of just selling it, say cash or selling on MLS. Fix and flips, you know what those are. And then, wholesale some properties as well. But all these things start with how good a deal can you find? It's one of the hardest things, especially as you're starting. It's still one of the hardest things, 8-10 years later. I shouldn't say it's one of the hardest things. I'd say it's one of the most important things, right? Whenever I ask about my business, I need more money for deals, and then I need more really good deals. So the best deals, I don't know why that showed up like that, but come from off market, right? So where a lot of people get stuck is they're like, well, wait a minute. Yeah, but you know how to do all this. It's not that hard. It's not that hard if you just you don't overthink it, right? You have to find a good quality property, good quality deal. When I say find a property, I'm saying find your good deal, right? Okay, and then you're going to contract it. I myself, and I know there's other people that are like, oh, I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to write the contract, do the contract. I let that stop me a long time ago until somebody finally said, his name is Danny, and he was like, it's not that hard. And it's not, right? You just follow the steps and you plug the stuff into the blanks. I'll show you a little more about that. And then, you'll take it over a title company, just like if you've ever bought any house, you will want to get an investor friendly title company. When I say that, it's not that they're helping the investor, it's that they're familiar with the types of deals that we do and are comfortable with how all those pieces go together. This is very important because all title companies will say we work with investors. You don't, right? You help some guy buy a rental property one time in 1987. It's not the same type of deal that we're putting through, and it's not the same way of clearing title. And it's a little bit different, but there's several, especially in San Antonio, that are good at it. And I have my opinion. So if anybody wants to know which one I think it is, then I'll tell you that too. Okay. Even if you don't ever want to wholesale a property, right? You're like, I have no interest in wholesaling. None. Awesome. But it's worth considering locating your own off-market deals, because here's what happens. Even when I still find a property today, right? I look at it and I go, all right, this is a great deal. And I want to contract or buy that property at a certain price point where we all want to buy it. Well, now I can do whatever I want with it. Okay. Because I have the contract. If I want to assign that contract to Cassie, right? Which just means when you assign a contract, I'm selling her the rights to my contract. So we'll have the original standard contract, and then there's a piece of paper that says, okay, I sell my rights to this contract to Rosalind, right? And Rosalind pays me a fee for that, right? And then Rosalind has to do whatever was in the original contract, which is basically the purchase agreement. So I have that option, right? And then maybe I want to buy the house. It happens a lot in my business. So if I want to buy the house, great. I can make a rental. Maybe we rehab it. Here's why it's so important, because where you're finding that deal is it gives you all the options and they're the best deals, right? There's other ways to run your business and find the deals, but if you can find your own off-market properties, it's the best one. It makes you the most money and you have the most options when you have it at the lower price. It also protects you more because you got it cheaper. You can make a lot more mistakes. If you bought it $10,000 less, you can make $10,000 more mistakes, right? So it gives you the options of your business. Oh, and you make more money, right? The other reason you make more money is there's other ways. So if you want to buy it from me, right? Say I'm gonna assign this property to Rosalind, but she wants houses at 70% minus repairs. No problem. I want properties at that price too, and I think Rosalind should get all of them. Here's the problem though. If that's a pretty clean house, if that's a 3-2 anywhere in San Antonio and just not destroyed, I can sell it in an hour for 78 cents on the dollar. So as much as I like someone, I'm probably not going to sell it to them for 70 cents on the dollar, right? It's the only way to get the really, really, really deep deals. And it gets you off of the MLS. Like you got to do that no matter what you do, because it's so hard to find deeper ones on the MLS, even if you're not finding them yourself. But another way to find a way that you can find them off the MLS, because as soon as they go on the MLS, what happens? We've all seen it. Everybody's seen it, along with 50,000 other people. So we're just going to bid that price up. It's just really hard to get traction like that. The contract part, right? So you go find it on yourself. You don't know what to do. It's in Texas. If you Google TREC 1 through 4 real estate contract, you can print it off. It's the same one, right, that you print off. It's the standard one. You can use it. What's it, like 10 pages? Read through it a couple times, because if you're explaining to somebody, there's a few things in there. There's a bunch of silly stuff in there. If you can't find it, send me an email. I'll send you one. I have another one that I used to use. I don't use it as much. It's 1 page. It's super simple. I'll send you that one if you want to email me. Just ask me for them. You can have them. The reason I used the 1 page is because some of the sellers, it was really easy. It was easier for them to understand. But if you not sure, have any hesitation, use the TREC 1 through 4. Everybody understands it. It's the standard. I would say that. So now you have the contract. You read through it a couple times. I'll send you one of mine that I've already filled out. You can just copy and fill in the blanks, right? Wherever the seller, you just put the seller information. Wherever it says me or my company, just put yours. Other contracts are perfectly legal, right? If we write it on a sheet of notebook paper and we follow a certain set of rules, it's no problem until there is a problem where people start to argue and disagree. I never had a problem with my 1-page one, but it was written by an attorney for somebody else. Going and getting these random ones off online, I would be careful with that, because anybody can put it out there and there's really no need for it. But I do see people show up with these different ones and they cause a lot of problems. Okay. Receiving the contract, super easy. Take it to the title company and give it to them, right? And if you have any earnest money, you give them the earnest money that you put down at that time, and that's all you got to do. How much does your earnest money need to be? Probably 25 bucks. What? You can't put $25. I've done it 100 times. No one ever argues, right? You don't have to put a 1% or something that you would in a regular one. You give them that. So now you have a contract that both parties have signed. You gave it to a title company. You gave them earnest money. So money's changed hands. So now we have this legally binding contract, right? Obviously, with, there's some ways to work around that too. And then the title process is going to start. Most of these folks that work with a lot of investors, they're just going to take it and run with it because they already know what they're doing. They know what they're looking for. They're going to help you do a lot. Earnest money, option periods. I don't put options on mine. You absolutely can do it if you're not comfortable. And I would say you should do it if you're not comfortable. Would that maybe give me an advantage if you have a 10-day option and I don't? Yeah. But most of the time we're not going head to head on contracts anyway. So if you don't feel comfortable, just do your deal that way, right? Put yourself an option in there for however much money you think the option period should be. And what the option period does is gives you a certain amount of days to check out the property. And if you would feel like you should walk away, then you can get out of it with just losing that part of the money. All right. So, hey, oh, that's super cool, Nick, but how are we supposed to find out these properties, right? The first thing is this. Every way works. They all work. That being said, you know your life and you know your budget and you know what you can and can't do, and different things have different positives with them as long as and they all kind of have some negatives. But the basic ideas of why you're doing it, and you really want to think that extra level of, okay, well, why am I choosing this one over the other one? And then if I'm going to choose this one, how do I do this one a little better than other people would do it? And whatever you choose, consistency it cannot be overstated how huge it is, right? You have to have a 6-month plan, 8th-month plan, or something that you're going to continually do. This is a lady that called me from a letter that she got sometime in 2018 that called me yesterday. I don't remember sending this letter. I don't know who she is, but she had saved that letter. And she actually has 2 houses to sell. She now lives out of town, and maybe she wants me to buy her son's house. I don't know if it's going to go anywhere. My point is, if I wasn't consistent about sending out my letters, she wouldn't have had that in 2018 and been saving that for all this time. Consistency. And do not, whatever you do, tell me, oh, I'm going to do a little bit of all of those. It's a horrible idea because you'll be really bad at all of them, right? Pick 1 or 2 and just that's your thing, right? You are the best at these 1 or 2. It's much, much, much more successful just across the board. Everybody that I know that is successful, 1, 2 things that they do, not like 5% this, 10% that, whatever. Well, what do I do? A lot of mine come online. They're driven through the website. It's great. Website traffic is huge. Everybody goes online now. Awesome. It is a more expensive way to market, especially when you're in a big city or a place that has a lot of competition. If you're in a smaller town, you can own it with a website. The only problem with that is there's not as many people there to sell a house that are searching online. SEO is search engine optimization, which all that means is where you rank in Google. So you want to be number 1, right? Unless you're a super, super, super good SEO computer guy, that costs money. Like I pay someone to not only do SEO, but also coach me how to do other parts on my own because I'm not that good. AdWords works, right? Those are like whenever you Google something, the first thing somebody paid for those spots works. It's expensive. You're going to spend a few $1,000s per deal on the average. Facebook ads, I've tried twice and I didn't have a ton of success with it. That does not mean that you can't have success with it. They changed a bunch of ways that you could target. You used to get more specific in your targeting of who you presented your ad to. And I don't like it. I still do some Facebook retargeting, which just means if you went to my website, then you know how like if you go to like if you Google spoons, then you keep seeing ads for spoons. Well, then my ad will, might pop up on your Facebook. That's all that the retargeting is. That's pretty cheap. So if you did have a website for, it's a little bit of money, but the websites work. If you're just starting in a big city like a San Antonio and thinking, hey, I'm going to dominate the SEO space, that's going to be a tough one to conquer right away. And these definitely, it costs money, right? Direct mail works. A lot of people talk about direct mail. It's the only way to go. Direct mail works. I think right now there's probably an opportunity for a little more direct mail just because I'm getting less of it. I'm on a few of these different lists that you would buy the list, right? Basically, here's what you're doing. You're sending a mail piece. We buy houses, cash for houses. I pay cash for your house. If you're interested in selling, give me a shout. You don't want to send that to everybody, right? I don't want to send that to you about your home that you live in with your family because you have no interest in this, right? Why would you want to send that to somebody who may have a certain level of motivation. Absentee owners gets taught that a lot, right? That just means that you don't live in the property. It could be a rental property, you inherit the however you got it, but you don't live there. I think that is a factor. The problem with it is that's the first one that everybody goes to. So they get more mail than anyone on the planet. So you've either got to set yourself apart in your mail piece, because when they get a stack, and sometimes they'll have a stack of 12, they're only calling 2 or 3 most of the time. How does yours stand out, right? The other thing that I think is a way better idea, especially if you're trying to keep your costs down on what you're mailing, right? Because there's 2 schools of thought. All right, I've got a ton of money. I'm going to mail to everybody I can. Or I need to get really targeted. Well, let me try to find the most motivated person, right? So whatever list you're taking, absentee, tax delinquent, probated, inherited property, co-compliance, if you can start to layer your lists, okay? So I want to mail one to Jen, and Jen's an absentee owner. Okay, maybe she is, and a lot of absentee owner properties are bought by a lot of owner-occupied property as well. But wait a minute, now she's an absentee owner, right? So she's got a rental property. And also she's on the tax delinquent list as well, right? Doesn't live there. She's behind on her taxes. Oh, and even better if they happen to have a third one, like she's also got tagged by co-compliance because this thing's actually sitting vacant and she got a red, the big red paper on the house. There's a really good chance that the best thing in the world she'd get is somebody to just buy this house and take it off her hands. If you can, especially if you're not or need to spend less in order to make a campaign for several months in a row, you can always grow that. But if you can make those first list a better mail piece and more targeted, so you're sending less, but the odds are you have a better chance of hitting a highly motivated seller, right? I think you would have a lot better success rate. I'm going to mail more. Over the last couple of years, I mailed less because so many people were doing it, but I continued to mail to my most productive list, which happened to be also my most expensive, but that was the one I continued, and there's still deals in there. It can still be done. Be consistent. If you want to keep your costs down, make a really, really, really good list and really target list that you hopefully have one, at least two things, and try to hit those folks, right? Take an extra 30 minutes and change your mail piece so you don't send the same. And I made this same mistake, all right? If I showed you the first postcard that I ever sent out, it's absolutely horrendous. But don't send the exact same thing that everybody else does, because guess what? Everybody else sent it, right? Do something to make yours stand out, whatever it is that makes you unique. Do something that has your piece stand out a little, just so in hopes that they'll remember yours or look at yours a little bit differently. And keep in mind, you're not going to mail something to somebody. You don't create motivation. I do believe this, right? They're not getting my letter and going, you know what? I didn't really want to sell this house, but since Nick sent me this letter saying he's paid me cash, all right. It's not like that, right? The consistency piece comes in there because you're there, and it just happens to be when you're fed up or when they're tired and when they look at it and they go, okay, I need this. What's the deal? And that's when they call, right? Um, there's definitely less expensive things to do. Bandit signs are those signs you see out there. We buy houses, throwing them around. I did that for about 10 minutes. That was one of the things that I did not very well. The only place I see it, other people who do it well have a lot of success. You can get a lot of buyers, like, because a lot of people buy, oh, well, just when you find that deal, call me. Or in lower income areas, if that's your target market, I think you might have okay success. I don't love it. And again, you've got to be consistent. You've got to be putting out 50 signs a week, and it's not fun. But these other ones over here, networking, word of mouth. Actually, let's just sit there on those two. Everybody should do this. Here's why. Someone somewhere that you know, or that's connected to you somehow, or aunt at work of a friend will have a problem, and they could use that service. You are not like tricking them. They want your help, and you can help them buy this house. They would absolutely rather sell it to you than to sell it to me. But here's the problem. They don't know that you will do this, right? So you have to be willing to tell people what you're doing or what you're looking for, not like a sales pitch or whatever. Just talk about it, right? We're investing in some houses. But just having those casual conversations, it becomes easier to work it in. But if the person who's 2 cubicles down from you at work has to sell an inherited property, or really, house burned down, whatever the situation is, they're incredibly motivated. They would absolutely rather walk over to you and say, hey, can you help my friend? I know that you mentioned you do this, but she's got this really big problem. Can you help her? Then get on the internet and Google me, right? Because they know you and they trust you. But they don't know unless you're willing to talk about it. It can be a little weird at first, but it doesn't have to be a sales pitch. You just have to talk about what you're doing, and so that people know. Everyone can do that. And it's free. Costs you nothing. And if you and I walk into that situation and you know the person and I don't, you're going to get it unless, I just do a bunch more money at it, which I won't, because I probably have a lower offer than you too. The driving for dollars really just costs you gas, and then how much you want to work to find those deals. It's only good if you have a system, right? You just tell me you're going to drive around a couple times. You're going to struggle for success. But driving for dollars is driving around neighborhoods looking for distressed property. Just look for the messed up properties. Don't worry about absentee owner or anything else. Just look for the ones that are messed up. But then you have to be willing to mail to those people, or if you're willing to call and skip trace, or knock on the doors, or talk to the neighbors. If you're going to talk to the neighbors, talk to the old ladies that tell you the most, especially about the bad houses. I've said this before, but it's true. If there's a little lady sleeping on her porch and there's a messed up house across the street, she will tell you about that person, about their mama and their dad and their cousin, and she's so mad about them because they let this house go, and you want their phone number, here you go. But you have to have a lot of follow-up, so you need a system of, okay, where am I going to go? Here's what I'm going on, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, whatever your schedule is. I'm going to hit this part of town. I'm going to get all these, and then what's going to be my system for locating these people? It's not as easy as just cruising around. Other wholesalers, okay. Can you get good deals off wholesalers? Absolutely. Do I buy them? Yes. I buy them from like 3 dudes that I know. Everybody thinks they're a wholesaler and they can just sell these properties, and they're immensely full of caca. Here's the problem. If they have a good deal and that deal works for you, great. You can buy that deal, no problem. A lot of them, they're selling something, and they probably don't have a good deal in the first place, and then they're trying to sell you an even worse deal, right? So you have to be really, really, really careful. And I don't care whose numbers they are. You don't trust anybody's numbers that aren't yours. Can you trust me? Yeah, because I'll tell you the truth. Should you trust me? No. Firm no. You have to run your own numbers, right? Run your own numbers, because I'm wrong too, but a lot of these folks, they'll throw these numbers out. Oh, well, I got it. It's 30,000 rehab. Oh, cool, man. You look about 16 and a half years old. So how many rehabs have you done? I haven't done any, but that's what I get. What is that based off on? And I'm like, I don't know, man, because it's a $60,000 rehab. You just have to be careful. Don't trust the number. You can't trust the ARV. Make Cassie do a CMA for you and tell you what it's worth, or have somebody walk it. Can you get it? Yes. And can you leverage their marketing to bring you deals? Absolutely. Are you going to get it at 70 cents miles for repairs? No, but you don't necessarily have to. Can you trust any number from anybody that's trying to sell you something? No, not until you built a relationship. And some of these guys, like, I would buy from that way, but I bought houses from them for years and years. And, we have a long-standing relationship, and they're not going to try to BS me on, because then I'm going to go over there and be like, why'd you lie? That being said, I have twice had people who I bought several houses from, not like one deal, like multiple, and we won't get into the story, but they tried to shaft me on a deal, like things that they knew I wouldn't buy it if I knew that, right? One was a dude, he was locked in the property. He was like locked in, like, I'm never leaving, come and get it type deal. And I wouldn't have bought it. They told me, oh no, he's out. He already left. Oh, cool. Because I'm looking at him, right? And he hasn't moved anything. And, another one was another deal, and the guy, multiple deals, like, we had made lots of money. So just, you just got to be careful. But all right, that's all I threw out there. If you want to ask me something, or you want to ask me something, you forget, you want to ask me something later, Nick@sellmysantohouse.com. That's me. There's a website, which I'm redoing. And it's my phone number. I'm pretty laid back. If you have a question, you don't want to call me, or if you want to email me, I'll try to answer it if I can.